Hey guys, what's up? Serena here from thriftdiving.com, and over the last 2 days I have been scrubbing, killing, pumping, spraying. Everything that you need to do in the outdoors right before fall comes is what I've been doing. So today in this video, I'm going to walk you through the driveway cleaning that I'm doing, the weed killing, and I'm going to show you my garden beds. They're kind of overgrown, but they're also in need of some maintenance. So I'm going to do some maintenance there with some weed whacking. And this video is being sponsored by Home Depot. They are providing me some of the materials that I'm using for this video. So we're going to be spraying and pumping, and yeah, you're going to get to see it. So let's jump into this video right now. If there's one thing that we can all agree on is that we love pressure washers, don't we? It's so satisfying to watch, just blasting away that gunk and mold and mildew. And that's typically what I do in my driveway. Well, this year I wanted to see, could I get it this white by not using a pressure washer? Could I use a sprayer and actually get it clean? So Home Depot had sent me this 1 gallon and 2 gallon, and I decided to use the 2 gallon because it holds more material. And I picked up this outdoor cleaner. This is one that it got really good reviews. It's called 30-second outdoor cleaner. And I actually wanted to see, will it take 30 seconds? How is it going to work on this ugly, dirty driveway? That was going to be the challenge. And so I mixed, it's supposed to be 1-to-1, but I actually mixed it a little bit more concentrated. And I'm speeding things up here, but you can actually start to see it happen right in front of your eyes. And I counted 30 seconds, and sure enough, in 30 seconds, it started to bleach the entire area. Like all that mold and mildew was just gone. It really was amazing. So it does work. Now, the thing is, a couple things. If you're doing something like this, you see I'm wearing a respirator mask. It was stinky. It did smell like very, very heavy bleach. So just make sure that you have the protection. You're also going to need a bristle brush. So make sure that you've got that on hand too. I think this is good if you're doing small areas that are not that dirty. So if you got a sidewalk, maybe your front porch, this is an easy option. You don't have to pull out the big, pressure washer, or you don't even have to go buy a pressure washer if you're doing this regularly. What I found is that, first of all, I actually ran out. So you see all this dirt that was left at the bottom of the driveway. Yeah, I ran out. But I think because mine was so dirty, there was still some stains there that I wanted to get out. So I rinsed everything away and decided to pull out the pressure washer anyway, and my surface cleaner. Now, I don't know if I've actually used this on my channel before, but I figured this would be a way to kind of get the job done faster. And what I liked is that all that spraying that I did with the 30-second cleaner, it was sort of like the pre-soaking. And then when I got to the bottom, I had to blast through like the actual dirt. And I posted this on my Instagram page, and people were just like, oh my God, what is that accessory? I need it. So you can find a link down below for that. It's a surface cleaner, and it did a pretty good job, but you'll see there's some streaks there. And I felt when I used the 30-second cleaner, that actually removed a lot of the dirt, so I didn't have as many streaks. And when I was done and asked my kids, hey, what do you think? Look what I did. They're like, well, you can still see some dirt marks. Okay, children, look at what it looked like before. It looks way better. It's not perfect, but it looks better. And the next day when I came out, the concrete was even brighter. It felt brand new. It was amazing. So if you've got a driveway, if you've got a dirty sidewalk or a deck or patio, you can use a pump sprayer with some outdoor cleaner. If you do it regularly, it won't get to that point where you're like, I need a pressure washer. So it's an option for you. Okay, remember that planting that I did a month ago along the walkway? Well, the weeds are back, and they're like, hey, did you miss me? So I'm using some weed killer. I generally don't use weed killer, but I think with this sprayer and having a nozzle that focuses exactly where you want to spray, I felt comfortable using it just in this restricted area. And this is what it looked like before. 24 hours later, they started to die. So I think I've got a handle on those weeds. Now let's jump over to the garden beds. My poor tomatoes, every year they do really well at the beginning of the season, and then they just get all this blight. Even if I try to snip it away, give them more circulation, it doesn't work. So we're going to actually put a fungicide to the tomatoes, and I'm using something that's bee friendly. It's organic. You can find the link down below, but I mixed it up a little bit, pumped it, shook it up because it has to be well mixed, and then I sprayed it on the tomato plants. And this is something that if you're trying to grow kale, there's a product called BT that works really well for keeping caterpillars away. And I wish I would have had this sprayer back then because those caterpillars ate all my kale, which was so frustrating. So another place that I'm going to be cleaning up is around these garden beds. You know, with having this fencing up, and a lot of people have asked me, like, does this fencing get in the way when I'm doing my gardening? For the most part, it doesn't, because I'm tall and I can lean over and into the garden beds. But the fencing actually gets in the way with all these weeds, and it kind of grows up in between the garden bed and the fence. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to take this off. We're going to clean this up and hopefully have these garden beds looking a lot nicer. So when I built these and I put the fencing on, I didn't attach it or anything. I just basically scrunched up the side here and just secured it to itself. So when I want to remove this, all I've got to do is pull it off, and just wear gloves. Be careful, because this stuff is very, very sharp. So once I unhook it, look at this. I have weeds growing into the fence. That's how long it's been. And where the creases are, I should be able to put it right back in place. Dag, this is really, oh my gosh. Woo! I guess the fence was holding up the flowers, huh? And by the length of those weeds, you can see how often I do this, which is not very often. Usually my husband does the mowing. Sometimes I'll do it, but yeah, he'll do the mowing and say, I don't have any time for the weed whacking. So I was going to pressure wash these as well, and I thought, let's just save that for another day. I want to get the weed whacking done because that was priority. It just needed to be done. So everywhere that needed to be trimmed, I trimmed it. And you might be wondering, why am I wearing a long sleeve shirt? It's like summertime, it's hot outside. But just a safety reminder, when you're doing lawn work, make sure that you're wearing eye protection and long sleeves and long pants, closed-toed shoes, because a lot of accidents happen out there and you do not want to be a statistic. So you might sweat a little bit like I was going back and forth, but it's for your safety. So on day 3, I still needed to do some weed whacking, and I got this area behind the garden beds, and you see my grapes are starting to infiltrate to the other side. This is what it looks like on the other side facing the street. And I'm so happy to admit that I actually got some grapes this year. Now they were juicy. They were still a little sour. I've since picked them all, and we just pretty much ate them. But I think I may have a few of them left that I may try to make some wine. But for next year, what I need to do is tackle the Japanese beetle problem. And also, I did deal with a little bit of black rot. So I have to do some research on that. But I think if I can use this sprayer to spray something that's earth-friendly, that's going to tackle the Japanese beetles, but also the black rot, I should have even more success next year. And isn't it so cute how the plants just hold on to anything? I thought that was so cute. But I shoved it back through the fence, and in the winter, I'll cut a lot of the stems back. I've heard with grapes, you can be pretty forgiving. They're pretty forgiving. You can do a lot of cutting and trimming. So this is what my garden looked like before, and all cleaned up. It looks much better. And you'll see I've got the kids' old sandbox there. I'm going to do some planting in there, but I need a little bit more soil. I am so covered in sweat right now. I feel gross. I've got like clippings, yard clippings, weed clippings all over my clothes. So if you want to keep watching more gardening videos and more outdoor stuff, click over here and you can see how I made these garden beds. I decided not to pressure wash them because honestly, who cares? They're going to get dirty again. Nobody sees them. Whatever, we're going to keep it moving. But if you want more gardening stuff, click over here. Keep watching, and while you're watching, I'm going to go get a shower because I feel gross and I just showered today, but I feel disgusting and I need another shower. I'll see you next video.